Hey guys, my name is Katarina Berry. Welcome to my channel. It's dedicated to empaths and our special abilities, our gifts, our challenges, our unique challenges, and the things that we struggle with and the things that we excel in. I am recording this video during a difficult time of the coronavirus outbreak. I think this is the first time I'm saying that name, honestly. I am in Columbia, South Carolina. At this point, we have, there's a lot of things that have shut down. There's a lot of small businesses that are struggling. There's a lot of service industry people that have no idea how they're going to survive because they can't go to work anymore. And amidst all this, I have this great opportunity to focus on creating content for this channel because there's not much else I can do. And I even have the equipment. I don't typically have a ring light, but I borrowed one from a local library, and now they have told me to keep it because they're going to be closed for the next 2 weeks. And so I have everything. I have a phone that obviously I'm recording on. I have a ring light. I have makeup that I put on today to make myself a little more together and intentional and like I'm doing something meaningful. But as an empath, I'm having a really hard time right now. I'm having such a hard time. I've cried multiple times today because I'm feeling the pain of the small businesses in our city. I'm like getting emotional because I'm feeling the pain of people that are in houses around me that are getting really freaked out and afraid. And even though I kind of stayed out of this fear consciousness that's happening right now, I am getting such a wave of what empaths do. We connect to other people's feelings. We feel other people's emotions. And that's what's happening to me. I'm feeling other people's emotions. And it's really bad. I've been waking up like just in such a dark state that I have to make so much effort to get out of, to meditate, to go for a walk, to go exercise. These options are getting increasingly limited. I think the gyms are going to start closing anytime soon. I go to Planet Fitness. They haven't closed yet, but I think it's coming shortly. Just walking in the nature, that's helpful. Exercising is helpful, but other than that, it's hard. And it's hard not to feel other people's feelings because I'm an empath. And even though I have boundaries right now, I feel like my boundaries are a little low because I am an extroverted introvert where I enjoy my alone time at home, but I also enjoy extroverting out in the community, and I can't do that anymore. I can't go out and socialize with people. So I'm kind of almost like looking for this empath feedback from other people to connect to folks in this empath way and sense. And it's not good because what I'm connecting to is bringing me down, way down. So I made another video that I haven't published yet, even though I've uploaded it at the time that I'm recording this one. I think I'm going to release these two simultaneously. It should be here, wherever it should pop up. You can check it out. I did a channeling, and I talk a little more about what that is in that video, for March on the full moon. Now, the time is getting close to the new moon, and little did I know when I did that channeling, I can tell you that. But I think it's still important. The messages that I channeled are important nonetheless. Like, they're just going to be a little harder to implement. But I've listened to that video myself, and I'm like, wow. Really, like, it's on point, but it's almost like, how do you do this now? So anyway, if you want to check out that video first, in this video, I'm going to be channeling, downloading, sharing, whatever you want to call it, a combination of all these things. I'm going to do 11 things that all empaths should know about coronavirus. First of all, this is number one. I think I'm gonna wait. I need to write things down. I need to keep track of what I'm saying here. So number one is this is a giant fear consciousness. This is real, obviously, but what's happening is everyone is kind of tuning into the fear mentality. And what fear is not really the present moment. Fear is what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen a few months from now. It's focusing on what happens after this. And that reality might not exist. It may or may not. So people living in fear are removed from the present moment. So they're not able to enjoy, or even appreciate the blessings of their lives right now. They're not able to see them. And when you contract that fear mentality, when you're surrounded by people who are living in this fear mentality, now when you go to social media and all you see is fear, when you turn on the news and all you see is fear, it's really hard to maintain the focus on the present moment, because you might be, peaceful at your home, everything's good, your dog is licking your toe and the birds are singing outside, but yet you are in this state of panic and it seems like the world is ending, but it's not yet, at least, not right now. So the first thing that I wanted to share with empaths is try to bring yourself back to the present moment. By any means you can. Do a meditation, listen to the birds, pet your dog, turn off the TV, turn off social media, read a book. It's hard to do because all you want to do is check for updates, but the more you check and the more you worry, the more you are losing the present moments right now. Second, isolation. I know that as empaths, we are extremely sensitive to people's energy. So I'm sighing because it's going to be hard to do for all of us. But I encourage you to open up discussions online. If you can do a Facebook Live, if you can post something on your page, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever, and just ask people how they're feeling. Hey, how's it going? How are you feeling? What's going on? Let's share and open it up for discussion. You're going to empower folks that are not good with sharing or opening up to share, to feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves, and to feel less isolated, because a lot of folks are feeling really isolated right now, and especially the ones that don't know how to reach out. That can be other empaths, because we don't usually reach out. We take everyone else's stuff on and then we just sit with it. So you could be helping other fellow empaths, but you could also be helping folks that just have no idea how to cope with themselves, who don't know how to deal with themselves. And it's important, because even though you're an empath, even though you're going to feel all of it, that's what we're here to do. You have to open it up. You don't have to read it, maybe, but you can help someone tremendously by opening up and letting them open up as well. So number three is you have to focus on self-care. And what I mean by that is, if you're feeling tired out of nowhere and you have seemingly been doing nothing all day, if you feel like you need a nap, if you feel like you're getting sick, but not the virus sick, but kind of sick out of nowhere, if you suddenly feel exhausted, if you suddenly feel like you just need to lay down, you're feeling weak, it's all very valid. And if you're an empath like me, it's because you're absorbing a lot of energies that are hard to deal with, that that other people can't carry on their own. And so they're probably passing that on to you. And that can be done through a conversation, through social media exchange, through texting exchange. You can through just watching the news, you're taking on this heaviness, this fear, this frustration, this anxiety, this panic, and you're taking on the energy of it. And so in order to take care of yourself, you have to allow yourself to rest even though you might not have the justifications to do that. Just accept it as it is. Just take it at face value. If you're feeling tired, rest. If you're feeling sleepy, sleep. If you're feeling hungry, eat. If you're feeling exhausted, then just sit there and do nothing. You have to take care of yourself. You're taking on a lot more than other people can even comprehend because you're an empath. And at this time, you're taking on extra stuff. And you're helping people by that, even though you probably can't see it and you won't see it. But you are helping us, humanity. And you have to take care of yourself. Number 4 is, this is a good time to create, believe it or not. I know that some empaths are more creative than others. Some empaths are more psychic than others. There's no comparing, of course, but if there's something that you've been holding off on, like you've been trying to record this course, or you've been trying to write a book, or you've been trying to start a new hobby, or you've been trying to take your psychic practice to the next level, or you've been trying to, or thinking about, doing something online, maybe starting a YouTube channel or something like that, doing more lives, doing a podcast, whatever, starting a blog. This is a good time to do it. This is a really great time to do that because you can just do it. And yes, there are things that you can worry about. There are things you can't control. And if you focus on them, you're definitely not going to create anything. But this is a good time to create. Now, next, number 5 is, how do you create something when you're feeling anxious? How do you create something when you're feeling disheartened, disappointed, devastated, depressed with everything that's going on? How do you make yourself be creative? Well, you have to get back to the present moment. And that's back to the beginning of this conversation. You have to focus on what's going on around you. And most likely you're going to get very underwhelmed very, very quickly. What I mean by that is you turn on the TV, there's all this panic going on. You turn on, you go read social media. So everyone's freaking out, end of the world. Oh my God, everyone's dying. Everything's bad, blah, blah, blah. If you just turn it all off and look around, there's nothing going on, just the birds singing and, maybe the dog barking outside or something like that. You're going to get bored, which is why it's so addictive watching these updates and feeding into the panic. But use that to create. Go oh, I'm bored. Great. I'm going to start writing that book right now. That's going to be fun. Or I'm going to record a video. It's probably going to suck, but then I'll record another one because I have nothing else to do. So how? Get back to the present moment. So going on number 6, it's time to tune into your intuition. We all work with it differently. Some of us are more clairaudient, so we hear things. Some of us are more claircognizant, so things just come to us as a thought. Some are clairvoyant, so you get visuals. And some are clairsentient, and you kind of feel things from other people, from coincidences, from things kind of aligning, the synchronicity. Maybe all 4, maybe something else entirely, but this is a good time to tune into your intuition. And in the modern, if you live in America, if you don't live in America, that might still be true. But in our day-to-day life in the United States, we are constantly driven to do, be productive and go there and do this and do that and talk to this person, talk to that person, attend this event. And it can be very overwhelming because you're constantly running around and you feel like you have to justify your existence. Well, not anymore. Not anymore, you don't. Right now, you can't run around and do things. You'd be, breaking the social distancing rules. So no more productivity measures and feeling of inadequacy. So now is a good time to be intuitive, which you probably usually don't have that much time to do. So how do you do that? Well, you could journal and see what comes up. You could order a deck of cards and try playing with different oracle cards, tarot cards. You can take a deck of playing cards and assign different meanings to all the cards, which is something I did as a teenager. Little did I know I'd be reading tarot cards later in life, but it was just kind of a natural inclination. Be creative. Go into the mode like you're a kid again and you're just intuitive. Just Do what feels good. If you want to draw, if that's how you connect with your intuition, or it's a way that's kind of emerging, like, oh, I kind of want to draw and see what I draw. You know, I don't really have an idea of what I'm going to draw. Do it. It's intuitive. If you want to write, you know, maybe either journal or pick up a laptop and start typing away. See where it goes. Don't try to have a plan. Don't try to understand what it's for or how you're going to monetize it. Just go for it. You know, turn on a camera, record a video, see what happens. Try to connect with your intuition, see what messages come up. And then I'm going to go into the 7. And you guys, I can only say this in a video addressing other empaths because other folks are probably going to think I'm crazy, but not that I care. But this is a good time to deal with your shadow. I was remembering an example earlier from 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. And I broke my leg right around this time, and had to move back with my parents. I was bedridden for about like 5 weeks, couldn't really leave the house because they lived on the 2nd floor, no elevator, so I couldn't even get down. Couldn't drive because it was my right leg, conveniently. And yeah, so I was kind of like quarantined. But first week I like watched shows, second week I read, and then third week I finished all the books I had with me. And then I finally had to deal with my shadow. I had some trauma, some unprocessed anger and pain and depression and frustration that all stockpiled over the years. And I finally was like, okay, I can't go anywhere. I can't escape this anymore. I'm out of all the entertainment. I'm out of all the shows, all the books. I got to deal with this now. And I dealt with this, and it was ugly. It was dark and ugly. It was not good. It was all dark. It was so bad. So I'm just going to be upfront and honest with you. It's not a fun process, but you might as well just do it now, you know? This thing will be over. This panic will be over. It might take some time, but it will be over. Wouldn't you rather get through this now? Now that you finally have this chance where nothing's going to distract you, nothing is competing for your attention other than the news and more updates of more tragedy. Wouldn't you rather just get through the dark shadow work right now? That you're stuck at the house with nothing to do. Think about it. It's a good time to work with your shadow. It's a good time to go through the dark night of the soul if that's been kind of coming up. If you don't know what the dark night of the soul is, I'm definitely going to make a video about that. It's a good time to talk about things like that. I'm making a note for myself. Dark night of the soul. Next video idea. But that was number 7. Dealing with your shadow. It's not good. It's ugly. It's bad. It's ugly. It's dark. But this is a good time to do it. Because this is the good time to do it. And collectively, the planet is doing that. Everyone's doing that. That's why so much fear is coming up. So much panic, so much anger, frustration, people being mean to each other, tearing that toilet paper out of their neighbor's arms, and being just ugly to each other. That's the dark night of the soul, collectively. Now is a good time to do it individually as well. So, number 8. It's a good time to connect with folks that you don't talk to that often otherwise. I'm talking about different family members that you usually avoid because they're mean, or they don't appreciate you for who you are, or they are just not someone that you like to talk to. And the reason why, it's a big energetic step. It's gonna be for you and for them, because most likely they're struggling to know. And your first reaction might be, well, they deserve it. Well, you're not gonna make big karmic leaps thinking that way, unfortunately, even though it's natural. It's a good time to connect to folks that you regularly avoid because they're having a really hard time. And despite all the differences, you may be the only person that reaches out. And even if they're still mean to you, you will know that you did the kind thing. And really, really, if they're like that towards you, it's most likely that they're like that to other people too. So again, the chances are they're completely alone with no one talking to them. It's a good thing to do. And just that, taking that step counts. Energetically, it means so much. And this is your chance to do that now. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying they're going to be nice. It could be like a 30-second conversation of just pure anguish. But you will have gone that step and you will have reached out. And energetically, that means so much. And to them, even if they don't tell you, it's going to mean so much. So this is just the message that I'm getting, that I need to share with you guys. And so that's number 8. Number 9, connect with nature. It can be different things. It can be driving to the beach now that the gas prices are so low. It can be, sitting under your tree in your backyard and just listening to the nature. It can be going to a nearby, park. I know a lot of like public parks are getting closed now, but any place where there are trees or a river or something that you can just kind of get close to and maybe sit on the bench by yourself. Maybe just stepping outside. Maybe it's taking a walk outside. And I'm not sure how safe it's being deemed by the organizations that make these decisions, but I'm going on walks. I've definitely been going on walks, and it's helping me a lot, and it will help you as well. Just being out in the nature, because what you're going to find in the nature is that everything's going just the way that it's always going. Spring, no one canceled spring. I'm living in South Carolina. It's getting pretty warm here. Birds are singing, bumblebees are bumping into each other, into my windows. The nature's awakening. The little flowers are starting to bloom. The trees are starting to get green. And just walking around seeing all that gives me this sense of peace and calm, and that everything's all right and everything's going to be okay, and that the nature is going to make it through, the planet is going to make it through, we're going to make it through as species of humanity. And even though it's going to probably take some time, it's all going to get back to being okay at some point. And nature, being in the nature, reminds me of that, and it gives me this sense of like relief is the best word that I can come up with. A sense of relief. Yeah. So definitely get outside. Get outside, get with the nature, get with a tree, sit somewhere where you can just hear the birds sing. Maybe on your porch. Just be out, just breathe the fresh air. Don't be afraid to breathe. This virus attacks the respiratory system, from what I understand, more than other parts of your body. But breathing, that's such a privilege to be alive, to breathe. That's how we know we're alive, is that we're breathing. So don't be afraid of breathing. Get some fresh air. It's a privilege of being alive. And that's something that we should all enjoy, especially now. Number 10 is to really step, and this is something that I talked about, channeled in my previous video that is going to get released simultaneously with this one, but step into your light. Be who you came here to be. With the world living in fear and not sure what's going to happen tomorrow and what to plan for and how to be and how to survive this, don't you think it's time to stop being afraid of who you are and who you came here to be? Don't you think it's time to show the world who you really are? What you really care about? What your true identity is? Don't you think it's time to really shine who you are and encourage others to do the same, and encourage others to not forget who they are in this madness. This is the right time. This is the time to show you your true colors to the world. There's no time like now, because yes, folks are afraid, but they're more afraid of things they can't control than saying something wrong or being someone, that doesn't fit someone else's standards. They're fearing for the normality of their lives never being the same again. They're fearing for, that tomorrow is not promised. They're fearing for their lives. It's the time. It's the time to stop fearing yourself and be who you came here to be. Fully, completely, no censors, nothing. Just who you are. And share that with the world. Simple as that. It's your time to shine. That will encourage, that will uplift others. That will give them hope. That will inspire them to possibly do the same and step up and say, here's what I really care about. Here's why I do what I do. Here's what I really want to do. Here's what I came here for. Here's my life's purpose. Here's my passion. Here's who I really am. So be an example of that. And use social media, use the internet to show the world who you really are. And you might be surprised as to how many people have been waiting for you to do that, so that they can do that, so that they feel supported in doing that as well, so that they can see you shine and be inspired to turn on their own spark. Finally, number 11. And number 11 is, you have to focus. I'm going to correct that. You have to be selective with what you focus on. That's the better way of saying that, I feel. If we empaths, which we're energy being, everyone is energy beings, but we are more of energy beings because we are so sensitive to energy, to the energy of what's going on around us, to the energy of people around us, to the energy of the whole planet. You have to be selective with what you focus on, because as an empath, your energy contribution is significantly more than that of other people. And if you focus on the future that doesn't exist yet, which is living in fear, focusing on the future that doesn't exist yet, focusing on the things, how things might go wrong that haven't gone wrong yet, focusing on, how this is all going to ruin before it has gone to ruin yet, you will contribute to that reality being created. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So you have to be very selective with what you focus on. And you have to restrict the amount of fear-mongering media that you consume. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's not wrong. Things are happening. Measures are being taken. People are freaking out. It's real. It's valid. It's for sure. But you can't focus there as an empath. You can't direct your energy to support this virus, the spread, the panic. You can't. You shouldn't do this. You should not do this. You should focus on something else, whether it be creative, silly, funny, reading, meditating, out in the nature, taking walks, talking to your loved ones, whatever you can do just to not live in this state of fear and anxiety and panic, because by doing that, you'll be contributing to it. So as an empath, it is your responsibility to watch where your focus goes, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. And that's where what shows up later. So if you're being affected by this, if something's like really happening that's really hard to ignore, then you're going to have to try extra hard and seek the positive to focus on. The best suggestion I have is be grateful for the small things that you see around you. As many as you can. Journal it, That will take a few minutes of time, which is good because it's going to, first of all, help the time pass, and second, you will feel more empowered. You will feel like you're in control of your mind. You will feel like you're in control of your focus. And then you might direct it to something creative, such as writing, reading, filming, drawing, talking, whatever it is. But you have to watch where you're spending your focus, because as an empath, you have tremendous power and tremendous responsibility with your energy and how you use that. And because it's powerful, it's more powerful than folks that aren't that energy sensitive. Trust me, that's the empath superpower, is our energy and our focus. So if you're focusing your energy on like doomsday mentality, you're contributing to that mentality. So then you're making the manifestation of it more real. So just take your focus off of it and try to keep it off of all this. And if you can't, and you won't be able to 100% all the time, and that's okay. I just want to tell you, be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself. Look at yourself through the eyes of the divine and have compassion, and say things to yourself like, oh yeah, well, I am feeling a little afraid, or I'm feeling a lot afraid. I'm human, I'm feeling it because my neighbors are feeling it and my friends are feeling it. But that's okay, because I can meditate and take that focus off and just get into the receiving mode. But that's okay, because I can journal gratitude and feel grateful, cultivate that feeling, and all of a sudden see my focus go somewhere else, more positive gratitude. It's hard. We have to do our best. And be kind to yourself and pat yourself on the shoulder and tell yourself, I am human. It's okay. I know I will fail. I will be able to focus on something positive, but then I'll be focusing on something negative, and that's okay. I'm just going to be mindful and conscious of how I spend my focus at this time. So this is it. This is the 11 things that I wanted to channel for you guys from the higher state of consciousness, from my own higher intelligence, and from the higher intelligence that is accessible to all of us. And I hope this message helps you. I know this is a hard time. And if you have any questions, comments, comment. If you want to support me at this time, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button, because I got this ring light, I got this phone, I got the internet connection, and I got nothing else to do for the next however long. That's just the reality of things. And so I'm hoping to focus on this content and create a lot more of it, to support empaths and to explore some topics that maybe otherwise I wouldn't be so brave to explore. But now I'm backed into a corner and have to really get it out there, because I've been meaning to forever. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you have questions, again, drop a comment. I appreciate you all. I hope this message was helpful to you. I will be seeing you very shortly. And until then, be kind to yourselves and be okay with being human, because we're all human. But we empaths, we have sensitivities that others just can't understand sometimes. And that's okay. That's why I'm making this content. That's why I'm here. Love you all so much. Hope you can feel my love. Bye.